So the work is a way to identify what you yourself are believing, to identify the thoughts that cause all the suffering in the world. For example, you identify a concept or an assumption that you are thinking, believing is causing stress, and you put it up against the following questions. The first question, is it true? Second question, can you absolutely know that it's true, this assumption you're believing? Third question, notice how you react. What happens when you believe that thought, when you're thinking that thought? Fourth question, who would you be without that thought? What would your life be without that thought? So, for example, if you have the thought, he doesn't care about me, and you ask yourself, is it true? He doesn't care about me. Is it true? The work is meditation. It's contemplation. It takes very deep stillness, because what arises to meet that question is pure knowledge, yours. You know, you're the teacher you've been waiting for. And in the stillness, as you wait for that answer within you to meet, is it true? Amazing things happen. In fact, enlightenment happens. So the second question, can you absolutely know that it's true? Let's say your answer to the first question is yes. Yes, it's true. He doesn't care about me. He told me he doesn't care about me. And so the second question, can you absolutely know that it's true? It gives you an opportunity to experience amazing other ways of seeing that same idea. So I invite you to test it and to see how widely and vastly your mind can open just through the experience of that second question. Can you absolutely know that it's true, that he doesn't care about you, or whatever concept and assumption you're questioning? So the third question, how do you react when you believe that thought? How do you react? What happens when you think that thought, that he doesn't care about you or she doesn't care about you? So notice first, emotionally, how that concept shifts your feelings. Notice your heart rate. Notice a depression that may begin to happen. Notice how you react, what happens when you think that thought. Notice the images of past and future that arise when you think that thought. And of course, the emotional comes out of witnessing that apparent past or future that is in your mind's eye now. So that fourth question, who would you be without the thought? He doesn't care about you. Who would you be without the thought? And I'm not asking you to drop the thought. I'm simply asking you to contemplate, to become very still, and imagine yourself even with that person. Imagine yourself at the market. Imagine yourself with or without that person, only without the thought, he doesn't care about you. So many of us come to understand very quickly as we experience the answers to these four questions. And the answers, that's where the power is, not in the work, but your answers. So what people begin to notice is that with the thought, that is the cause of all stress and suffering. And without the thought, you cannot suffer. So eventually people come to understand that it is what we are believing that is the cause of our depression, our stress, our heart rate, our emotional, and not what is happening in the world. For example, I see the world as perfect, everything perfect, no mistake. And I see that what we're believing about the world, now that could use a little work. So we continue to work on the world to change it. And I'm not saying don't try to change it. I'm simply saying until we work with what we're believing, that we are going to continue to produce in the world the same war that has been going on since mind first began to attach to what it sees, a belief system that for me can no longer be valid. And this is what I invite you to. So then I invite you to consider the opposites. I call it turnarounds. So for example, he doesn't care about me. Turned around to an opposite, he does care about me. And then to become very still again, always remembering that the work is meditation. And notice genuine examples of where he does care about you. And your mind might scream, this is impossible, he doesn't. And to be gentle with that, and good, that's fine, and continue to find genuine examples of where he does care. And that's the invitation. Another opposite, he doesn't care about me. Another opposite is, I don't care about him. And that may sound insane, and yet I ask you to find genuine examples. To find genuine examples of where you have been uncaring toward him. And then in that, you may even want to apologize and make amends and make it right with yourself and him, if that's what it requires, for you to be right with yourself. Another turnaround, original concept, he doesn't care about me. Another turnaround, I don't care about me. And this can be stunning at first. And I invite you to get very still and to begin to find the genuine examples of where you have not been caring about yourself. And that, you know, I invite you to illuminate yourself just by contacting what is already within you, to allow it to be born through these 4 questions and turnarounds that I call the work. If you consider, after doing the work, you have the thought, let's say, he doesn't care about me, and it could be that you experience humor, and then you begin to notice that it was absurd. And then you begin to notice that what used to cause depression when you had that thought now brings a kind of wonderful amusement to it. So this is the difference between depression and no depression, and I see it as the difference between asleepness and awakeness, or unenlightenment and enlightenment, to just one concept. That's just one concept. And questioning one concept can change what you believe about everything.